Okay, so I want to talk about in this video is about tattoos, and especially about, and remember, this is just a speculation video. I do not know. It's just a speculate, and it's how some colors works better than other colors on people with brown or dark skin. And the first of them works really good. Works on good on every skin tone. It's black ink. And of course, black ink is a color, but personally, I think is just you have to black ink have to work. If black ink do not work, you cannot have a tattoo. That is impossible then, because there's so many things that you do with black ink, like the lines, or some styles, or the pupil to the eye of the tattoo. Is so many things. So black ink is you have to work. Other colors that work on my skin tone is green, dark green, lime green mixed with olive green turn into more darker green for me when they heal. I don't know how lime green personally works. Only if there's only lime green or no other green in the mix. But I know that lime and olive green works together. That I know. Red, orange, red I know works for very long time, because I have a tattoo since 8 years old, so it have red in it, red ink. So that I know will work for longer term. I do not know if the other colors, for example the green or the orange or the purple or turquoise blue, will stay up as long as the red did on my skin for at that time period, like 8 years of from today 2020 to maybe 2028. No, sorry, no, sorry, 28, 2028. And that is what I really want to talk about, is why do some color works so well for so long time, and other colors maybe do not work as long as the red ink work. And is that something with the ingredients, how they make the ink? For example, if we say both of them is from Ink Eternal, but you have to make the ink in a special way to get that color. For example, if you make green, you do something to get the green, and you do something to get the red. And maybe in the ink is that they have something in the red that is more durable for longer time, especially on the darker skin. And maybe green are, maybe, I do not know. I do not have green so long as I have red ink, so I do not know that yet. And I'm really wondering if how to know beforehand if that is the case or not the case, and how big difference is it with, if example, I do not have tried that, so I do not know. But if, for example, if one arm do you a green, like lime green with Ink Eternal, so it's vegan based, and the other arm you do with lime green that is not Ink Eternal, that is not vegan but is made of animals, and how different on the person with dark skin, how different will that tattoo heal comparable to the tattoo that is made from vegan material that is not vegan, and how would that stand up from the time. And that is also a very interesting thing. That is also a very important factor to the whole thing is how is the color made, how durable is the color, how dark is the skin, and all these kind of factors I think is really mattering, is important, because if all ink because it's not the same, because if vegan ink is cannot be made exactly as the same as ink that is not vegan, so that means there's something else in the mixture of the coloring to make that differences. So and so how then I don't know in real life, I'm very sure that it's not the same, because if for vegan is not animal product, and other tattoos that are not vegan based, that all the tattoo inks that before now, vegan is so popular and is so important, and there's so many industries today, tattoo industries, that change from the newer product, like for example Ink Eternal or other inks that are, and it's because of regulation, what kind of rules you're allowed to use the ink, because you have to control in some way how that ink is safe, or safe enough to be allowed to sell in a store, only put it under somebody's skin. And how that is also a question, how do you test that vegan ink is safe for a human body without testing on without testing on an animal? That is the interesting thing, is but then you have to have something that you can see the results, and you cannot have human test objects because that is not allowed. So that is the interesting thing for me. So how do they know? Because if you sell something in a store, tattoos is a very mainstream and very popular, especially here in Europe and also in America and very around the world. Some places not so popular because it's tradition and culture and other things. And that I really want to know, how can vegan ink be safe? I like vegan ink, but how, it's one thing to like something, but how do you know that is safe when that is have not, if you test that thing on an animal, then you cannot call it vegan anymore, because it's a testing on animals, and vegan ink should not be tested on animals because it's vegan. So how do we, yeah, that is what I mean. How do we know if it's safe or not safe? Yeah, that is one thing. And the other thing is about why some colors do not work. And my personally speculation to this question is that first, when tattoo artists first do tattoos that before vegan ink, maybe 8 or 12, 11 years old, when they try these kind of colors on people with darker skin, and there was something in the mixture of that ink that was lesser durable, because it was quickly turned to darker and muddier. And maybe today, because it's vegan, is something else in the mixture of the ink, maybe something plastics or something else, and make it not based on animal. And when you say, it's also important to understand, when you talk about vegan ink, do not mean that they have to, they not call it plant-based ink. Is plant-based is when it's made from the plants or from the nature. So the ink can very well be made from like synthetic or plastic, something else, to make the ink that is absolutely not healthy for the body at all. So is vegan just mean that it's not made from animals, that can still be made from other materials? So when somebody talks about plant-based, then it comes from the nature. So vegan do not have to be at least from nature. It can be something else, but so long it's not from animals, that is called vegan. So long it's not from animals. And that is the interesting thing here, is how we don't know exactly when example I am a customer. I just go to a tattoo artist and get tattoos. I have no idea how the tattoo is made, how the ink is made. I only know the name of the company of the ink Eternal. I do not know anything else. I only know that it's vegan. What they say on, if you look at the site on the internet, I only know that fact. But I do not know how the ink is made. Do you understand what I mean? So they can be made of many different ways, and that way how you make the ink is also the way that you know why the ink do not work. Some ink do not work as well on darker skin, but it's made in a special way. And other ink, also from the company, is made also in a special way that will work better on the darker skin. And there's something in the ink. I cannot say what that is are in the ink, but there's something that make orange, red, green, turquoise blue, black, and some yellow, or some people say magenta works better than purple, blue, and white ink. And that is the interesting thing. White ink do work really horrible, but black ink works really amazing. And that is strange. How is that? There should be totally different, because white looks very amazing on dark skin because it's white, and white should be good on black background because it's good on paper, but it's not good on skin. So how is that? How can that be? That white turn up like very, if you're lucky, muddy, but if you're not lucky, disappearing as quickly as really quickly. And if you do a whole white ink, like if you do a black arm, like a black ink arm, like this the whole black arm, and then you put white ink on the black arm that is black ink, then will it work? Will work. But if you just put it on a normal arm with normal black arm and normal brown arm, that ink will look horrible. I absolutely avoid that in every possible way. It's horrible. It's gonna look horrifically bad. And that is interesting. How can that be? How can white be so brownish or muddish, but black ink turn up so good for so long time, like so long time is black ink good, looks so good. And I think personally, I think there's something more to the whole picture. I think there's something that is much more complicated than skin tone. I think there's something with how the ink is made, and I don't think the ink is made just for one group of people. Absolutely not. I just think that it's more customers that have lighter skin tones that do tattoos, and because of maybe this will contradict what I say for 1 second ago, is because of the clienteles that are lighter skin, the more ink are made more specially for one group, and more And if more people can have darker skin, get more tattoos, much more, the companies that made the ink will see from the increase, and they will do something with the ink. But I absolutely believe that you can do something with the ink that they do in laboratoriums that will make that ink as vibrant on dark skin as long as it's vibrant on white skin, on lighter skin tones. But you just need to find the ingredients to make this kind of thing, and I absolutely do not know, and I don't even gonna try because I don't work in a lab. But people that work with this kind of thing, like medicine and especially ink in the laboratorium, do have to find something that will make that ink, for example now, light yellow, for example, just for example, why that ink is so, that will, how to make that ink work as vibrant on all skin types as this works vibrant on light skin tones. So there's something in the ink that do something in the ink that change the coloring of the yellow. And sorry for the horrible door. Sorry. Sorry for that, for some stupid person that work with something. Sorry for that. And so it's not the color that is the problem. It's something in the ingredients of the color that make that problem of the result of the when the tattoo is healed. So it's nothing that the tattoo artist can do. It's something how they made the ink. That is the thing that will make the whole result different result. So when somebody can find out what the ingredients in example lighter inks like light purple, pink, light yellow, or other colors that or colder colors. I mean, much are colder will, not warmer color, but much colder, like example blue. So it's cold. So because I think because the turquoise blue is also blue, but it's also green, and it's lots of more warmer, some kind of warmer colors, medium warmer colors in turquoise blue comparable to only blue, because it's only the cold sun. Is something that I do not know how is because some color is warm, some color is cold, and why colder color works so lesser on darker skin and warmer color works much better on darker skin. Maybe it's because the underskin tones are much warmer on darker skin types, and they are on the lighter skin types. And I do not know because I do not know if that is the case or not. And yeah, I do not know. So that is something the professionals need to look up when they make ink, to really see if they can do anything that can see the same result. And because you cannot try on human beings, you have to find something else. And when you do vegan, then you cannot try on anything that is living object that lives, because you cannot, if you are tattooing something that are dead animal, that it cannot be vegan, because then you have tried on something that still is not alive but is an animal. So how can you try on something to see if you do testing, laboratorium testing, how can you do the result if you not can try on anything that have same genetics as a human being, because how do you copy the movement of blood organs to get the same result if you talk about colors? And when you create colors, you have to have something that will, because a car is not the same as a human body. It's totally different materials. So yeah, so how do we know? And we don't know. That is the whole thing, that we really don't know. Yeah, we don't know. We only know the name of the color, but we don't know how that color, that lime green is made, comparable how other lime green is made, so it's Tatoo inks. And because it's different companies, if both companies, let me say both of them are vegan, can be made of many different ways. The only thing you have to have, that you don't only have to have the same thing that make the green, but it's something else more to the whole thing, and it's the whole picture. Because vegan do not mean plant-based, it just means that it's not made from animals. So it's more, in some cases it's more natural if ink is made from animal bones, because it's from something that is born from nature, comparable if ink is made from something synthetic that is not from animals. So that is something. If the ink is called plant-based ink, then means that the ink is from nature. But if it's not only called vegan, do not mean anything but plants, or vegetarian. This just mean it's not from animals, this kind of thing. And I have no idea how Ink Eternal's ink, what it's made of, if it's from synthetic or like some other things. And the whole thing with this is how this is made can also be a result of why that color is less vibrant or less visible on the skin tone, because it's made in a special way. Yeah, so that is everything I really want to say. So remember that is just because yeah. So just remember that it's much more things to the whole picture, and just the color is how the color is made. And that is the whole result of why some color do not work as good on other skin type as they work on other skin types. Is how the color is made. And I don't know, you have to find the right ingredients, why is green comparable to blue works good on dark skin, and blue do not work on good as dark skin, or turquoise blue comparable to blue, or orange comparable to yellow. There's something, if both of them is from Ink Eternal, one is made in a different way because you get yellow, and the other one you get orange, and both of them is warm colors. Orange and yellow is warm, so it's something else. It's not. So then it's not. Then you can eliminate, take away the skin tone, the undertone, because if that was the case, is if every warm color works as good, then it should not be a problem. Then you take orange, red, yellow, fine. But that is not the case. Especially for me, if I have a tattoo that is mixed with orange and yellow, and I can see clearly that the orange is much more clear on my skin comparable to the yellow, and yellow will be more like a goldish brownish on my skin, and orange stay orange. So there's something else to the whole thing. I don't think there's something with the undertone. I think it's something else. I don't know. I don't know. I do not know exactly what it is. I only know because it's both of them is warm. So that is the thing. So it's something else. Um, I I really want. If I know, I absolutely will say, but I don't know. I don't even think. I do not think even I don't even think even if a professional tattoo artist know, and you know, even professional tattoo artists still struggling with tattooing dark skin type, because even if they are one of the best in the world, even of the top tier tattoo artists, when a customer with dark or brown skin come in the studio, is much is much harder thing, and they have to, and it's not nothing about the skin. If even darker skin tattoo artists have hard problem to tattoo dark skin customers. It's nothing about the skin tone of the artist or the skin tone. It's something is much more complicated thing, because it's easier to tattoo people with light skin. And I think you can see, maybe if you look at tattoo artists, extremely good tattoo artists that work in like South America, or even tattoo artists that work in Africa, maybe use different kind of inks, and that is also a question where you are in the world. Can be also if you have many customers, that is much more customers, and you also have to understand it's more people, example in South Africa, that are white people have much more money than people with dark skin in South Africa. I only take South Africa for example because I think it's more tattoo artists in South Africa comparable to other African countries. And if African country was much more developed in that sense with economy, then we may be going to see a totally different result of the tattooing, because if more people, the more money you have, the more fun thing you can build. For example, tattoo industries, Tivolis, cinemas, these kind of things, much more fun things. Because when you don't have so much money, your economy needs to be saved much more for much more important things. And tattoos is something fun, and it's something very, it's fashion mixed with art. That is tattooing, fashion mixed with art, because you can get amazing things on your body, like amazing paintings, like all the way, like the same level as Mona Lisa or other famous, like this kind of art you can get today. But because it's more people that is more with lighter skin tones that can get this, but I think in the future maybe people with darker skin can also get that high level of tattoo art with this mixture of colors, because you have so many. So if you want a big art piece, you have to have some mixture of color, and so if some color do not work as good as other color in the mixture of the painting, will be a problem. So then there is why some tattoo artists shy away from this kind of thing, and some do not want to put up picture of people with darker skin on the tattoo portfolios, because it's one thing to see the tattoo with your own eyes, and other thing to take a picture with the tattoo especially if you have a very expensive camera, then it looks good, or you have a very good position with the mobile camera to get the good pictures. There's so many things. I think there is one reason why. But some tattoo artists do it because they don't. It's race based, but many of the other tattoos do not do that, because it's much harder to take a picture, and because the tattoo industry want to sell things and this art, and when you put up the tattoo on your portfolio, you want the customers to see, wow, what amazing tattoo! I want to go to that person. I want to pay for that tattoo. I want to pay for a tattoo. Sorry for that. I want to pay for a tattoo, and that is the way a tattoo artist get money. And so And if you are so that is the thing, is if when you do tattoos on people with darker skin, you have to know how to do that. You cannot just, it's two ways that is wrong. It's wrong if you just say, okay, look here is a picture of the tattoo, and the tattoo have not healed on the skin. And is when, and I think, then you think, wow, I take this color because this picture looks amazing, they have to work. And when they not work, you get really upset. So that is also the thing. So I think it's much better if you do tattoos on dark skin, and you put up the picture. Ask your customers to send you the picture after 4 or 5, or maybe after 1 month, the picture. For then the tattoo have healed. Then you can see the result of the volume of the color and all this kind of thing. And because I know that for a fact, because I have 10 tattoos now, and I know that, and I have 4 tattoos with colors. Two of them have more than one colors. Some of them have 6 colors, and one of them, and I know the results. For example, the dark purple and is much less visible than the orange, the turquoise blue, and the green. So that is also the thing, that is also, so some color will be a different result when the tattoo is healed comparable to the other tattoos that mean that they are made in different ways. And yeah, so just remember that just because you see a picture from the tattoo portfolios with a person who have darker skin, put up tattoos with darker skin, you still have to be, you when you get tattoo, do not, how do I say this? Just because you see a picture, I put up picture with fresh tattoos, but I assure you that lots of the picture that is taken in the studio with my tattoos when I get it is not the same vibrant when they are healing. And because you don't want, a tattoo artist do not want old tattoos to be put up, they want fresh tattoos because the fresh one sells better. Example, okay, I'm gonna get a lot of angry people now when I say this. If you talk about like a modeling, you talk about models, men or women, you want one type of people, like one age of people, to sell your magazine. That is the same thing for a tattoo portfolio. It's like a magazine in that sense. And so if you send an old tattoos that is old comparable to a new fresh one, of course you get much more customers if the tattoo is fresh comparable to tattoo that is old. That is everything with old and young, with things you sell, especially things. And the only thing that is more expensive that is old, that is antique things like paintings, weapons, because that you cannot get the same thing because it's so many things. That is the only thing that is much more expensive when you example an antique sword comparable to a very good modern sword. That is extremely much more money for a very good example. You're talking about a sword that's made of Damascus steel because it's so rare, and that is one thing. It's totally different thing with the tattoo because you always want something to be vibrant and fresh. Then it's reason why you, and I think maybe that is also the case why it's harder. I don't think you color tattoos absolutely is possible on dark skin. Absolutely, no, I 100% know that, but it's different how you take the picture. it's a different thing, because the camera maybe is hard, you can do it, but you also then, the same thing when you take the picture, you also have to know that a picture, when a tattoo is taken, a picture is taken on the tattoo is a fresh tattoo. And a fresh tattoo, the color will look very good, but maybe one day or 1 week later, maybe the color will disappear, because you can, and that is the thing. So you give one way of opening, you give one, just because you see a color do not mean that that color will work. You only see it here. And I already do a video about that when I have my tattoo frog, the Haida frog. And one picture is, when you can see on the purple is, if you go into Cyber Killway, you can find that tattoo. You see two different pictures. One is a frog with purple, and the other one you see the purple almost disappeared. And there, this is what I mean, is one color will look amazing, but some color will disappear, and you have to ask. And tattoo artists do not put up this kind of thing on the portfolio, because they only want to show the best side of their tattoo works. They don't want to show the result of healing, because that is the thing. You have to find something to see the healing. And if it's one site on Google, if it's called Tattoo Monologues, and then you can read there, and there you can find how, example, there is a picture with a tattoo with 13, and you see it's different color behind the number 13, and you see there that blue and yellow really is almost have disappeared. I don't know how long since the picture was taken with that tattoo, comparable how long since the tattoo was healed. For that is the time is also an important thing with the whole thing to that. Yeah, and that is everything I really want to say. I hope you liked this video, and yeah.